Hi, so it's Aliana Garfink. Thank you for facilitating this. It's such a nice, empowering experience to be part of it. The act of kindness that I experienced was predicated upon an act of kindness that I first facilitated. My background is for the past 30 years, I've been working in the superior court system, working as an advocate for at-risk children and victims of serious crimes. So children don't have a voice. They're little. They might not speak the way you and I speak. They might use language. They might use art. They might use certain tools that are child friendly to say what they want to say. They don't always speak the same intellect that an adult does. So I dedicated a lot of my time to advocating, helping children. And that will go into later because we did a lot of pet therapy and pet play and pet advocacy with the kids. It was great. But the act of kindness that I wanted to speak of was in my advocate for these children, I became an informant or a reporter because someone has to speak for them. Someone has to be their voice. They can't be that voice. So in doing so, I was then targeted by some political figures who wanted to shut me up and silence me because they were involved in some victimization against children. And I wouldn't stop and I wouldn't back down and I wouldn't quit. And the more I advocated for the truth and for justice and for wisdom, the more they pushed and the more they attacked and the more they came back, right? Because they're people harming kids. But when the politicians, or, and I won't say names, but when those in power allow the victimization, that's a problem, right? You're supposed to protect and serve and help and make sure these children are safe. So I was recently approached by a wonderful judge who took the time to give me a call and say, hey, I understand there's some circulation of some fraud in an effort to silence the circumstance and the situation. And I was so grateful for this particular judge. I don't think yet I should say his name just for his privacy, but he was a Superior Court judge in New Jersey, and he was so kind and took so much time out of his way to expose the wrong and expose the silencing of these poor innocent victim children, which me as the whistleblower got the brunt of the abuse. He went above and beyond, and he had people do certifications and do things to like hold them accountable for the targeting that I was being subject to. And when he did so, it really was like a revelation. This just very recently happened in 2025. A lot of the people who were involved in the targeting were held accountable. So that act of kindness from the judge was really inspiring to me. So I created a book. It's called The Unspoken Word. And the unspoken word is really about how do we send a message? How do we ask for help? What are the gestures, the clues, the language, the nonverbal information that all children and all people, including victims, that may not be able to speak? And in the unspoken word, I created a toolbox, which is the entire country of resources for every single state in the country. So if those who are having difficulty, who are under duress, who are stressed, who are being victimized, who don't know where to go, who don't know how to go, who don't know how to create this, they have this toolbox and this resource to pull from, and it's all in front of them. Insofar, I also dedicate time to victims of domestic violence and victims of abuse just for free as part of the act of kindness that I want to give back to the community and to the world for having such inappropriate and unnecessary acts. You know, I think we see it on news and TV. It's after someone passes or after someone's attacked that it becomes popular. What about prevention? What about before? How about saving that life? How about making it known before so we don't have to worry about after and weeping and sadness? We can prevent this. And the whole premise of the unspoken word is about prevention, stopping it before it happens, awareness, unspoken verbal cues, nonverbal cues, gestures, signs, to really have those in power, recognize some of these clues before it's too late. So
That is incredible. So you have, first of all, wow. I mean, honestly, I have to say, shout out to that judge. It's so easy to look the other way, especially when powerful people are involved. So
Correct.
shout out to that judge. Number two, so basically, that book, so the way, so you help, so I wanted to make sure I wanted to give a shout out to the organization with, so you help individuals who have dealt with domestic violence and abuse. Is that like on a one-on-one basis, or are you with the organization who does that?
So I am the organization that created this uh, support network, but I work with any and all in each and every organization throughout the country and the world that would be amenable to joining the mission and serving as an advocate for these children, for these parents, for these victims, right? And I know the victimization goes both ways, male, female. It's not specific. It doesn't minimize with socioeconomic class or culture. It's everywhere. So I am the person who created the organization, but I work with everyone. And that's the website is theunspokenword.co. And it has the option to gain the resources and, you know, become LinkedIn and connect it to future support, future help, future guidance. And then on September 11th of this year, my book will be launched on that exact date. And what was really significant about that date is on September 11th, I was scheduled to be at the World Trade Center at 9 a.m. to go to NYU for a program for a Juris Doctorate program to really, you know, learn about law, advocate for those who needed help. And I missed my train at 8 a.m. because I had a baby in the neonatal intensive care unit and he kept me up. And I missed my train and I called to say, I'm taking the next train. And they're like, oh, no, you're not. You can't get here. So I would have been right there at that moment. It was like, wow. So I narrowly escaped such a tragic, you know, an unbelievable circumstance. So it just worked out with the timing that I was able to launch on that date. It was just an available date that they offered to me. And I was like, wow. And also with 911 is kind of a, what do victims call 911? Where do we reach for help? 911. So it was very symbolic to be able to launch on that particular date. So between now and that date, I'll be getting the websites and everything up to a point where they're ramped up with resources and ramped up with some supports and help for everybody who needs the help, and just spread the voice of awareness and prevention so we don't have to wait till it's too late, and we can help in advance before it happens, not afterwards.
That is amazing. Wow. I mean, what were you feeling when you found out what happened? Like on, you know what I mean?
I couldn't believe it. I was actually at the train calling NYU, calling. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And they're like, do you know what just happened? I was like, I had such chills, you know, it was just like, no, because I just didn't at that second. I was about to get there late, but I was supposed to be there at 9. That was my appointment time, 9 o'clock on September 11th. And it was just like, wow, I can't believe that this happened. So I took it somewhat as a divine intervention to kind of reroute my life and be like, how can I help now? What can I do to make a difference? How can I help others? And I spent a lot of time in the community, you know, helping, but I realized TV media, it's beyond New York or New Jersey. It's every country, every state, every town, every city. It's not just one area that's affected by such, you know, hostile acts of violence. So I figure if I can save a life and we're all crying after the fact, let's save the life before. Let's prevent, alert, knowledge, empowerment, awareness, and make it so we have the ability to stop it before it's too late. And that's the mission of the unspoken word, and hoping to gain some, you know, empowerment in a larger group, in a more nationwide capacity, and really use my knowledge, skill, experience to help others and children too, because I feel like they're the ones that have been also harmed through this process.
Wow, I thank you so much for what you're doing, and this will get recognition. This will help get the word out there because this is my life mission. Went through a life change recently, so I've been wanting to do this for a while anyway. So because of a situation that looked negative, but now I see it as a positive because I'm able to focus on this positive
Yeah.
um, content. So please, could you? I'm going to type everyone's names and stuff in the description and everything, but could you spell out your name and tell us the name of the book and everything, and tell us where to find
Yes.
you?
Sure. So it's AHLAIANNE, and then last name Garfinkel, GARFINKEL. And the website is the unspokenword.co, which is also the, I have an Instagram. It's word.unspoken. So they're very similar, but it's really the same. And then my email is the unspoken word at iCloud. So if you want to reach me
Wow.
in those ways, hopefully we can join forces to save some lives, because that's what I believe is the foundation of everything.
Yes. Wow. This is amazing. I'm so happy I met you. This is amazing. And it's Alian. I'll say it.
Aliana, Aliana,
Aliana. Aliana. So
my
pretty. I love it.
thanks.
Thank you so much for the work you do, and thank you so much for everything you do. Really, thank God. It's so nice to meet some really, really good people. So thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us, and I can't wait to see your book blow up. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So exciting. Thank you for this
Yay.
opportunity. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
joining
it.
us. Yeah, so you
Okay,
don't
of
have to leave, but thank you very much for joining us.
course.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yes, that was amazing.